All right, here we go. 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 Alrighty, here we go. Got the music playing. Got sound in the background of people making noise, but that's okay. That's how it's gonna happen. Today's show. It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. I'm gonna get my other monitor here going, making sure that I'm live, making sure that we're all good. Can you hear the music? It's gonna happen. Okay, there you go. I can kind of hear the music a little bit now. It's Wednesday. It's such a wow. Here we go. Another announcement. Another day for breaking news, and it's exciting. If you are a UH football fan and you are anticipating having a football season, great news. So let's talk about that first. Actually, let's talk about the Mountain West making the announcement today that games can begin the week of, excuse me, September 26th. 8 conference games. It looks like they're going to throw the schedule out as it is currently. So if you go to the website, the September 26th Robert Morris game is the only one that should be, is the only accurate one, I would say, right now. Currently, there are 10 games on the list, but those are 9 conference games. So they're going to eliminate one conference game and then give the option of adding 2 non-conference games. So already one, they already have Robert Morris on the schedule if that happens. So that's exciting. I mean, it's still we're in limbo. I'm not gonna lie, like as if I'm just optimistic the season's still gonna happen, but I think it shows that there are contingencies put in place. Having 8 games, having 2 conference games, that'd be a solid season if we can get through that whole 10-game season. And having a championship game, 3 different dates set apart right now, so it'll be interesting. Looks like Mountain West. We do have to note too that the Mountain West is also planning on going forward with their Olympic sports or their non-football sports, so volleyball, soccer. So we're not in that conference, right? We're not in the Mountain West UH and the Big West for the Olympic sports. So the decision is not contradict one way or the other, because the Mountain West is planning on doing their Olympic sports and a conference only, whereas the Big West is postponing all conference fall sports. So there's a little bit of divergence there, and you see it in play when it comes to football. Obviously, football is going to be the thing that is driving this entire conversation when it comes to college sports, right? Everything is around football because of the money that comes through football and because of everything that, the excitement that it generates. It starts off the year, the fall. It's something we all expect. It's something that we, anticipate having every year like clockwork. So for a lot of people, they do feel a little lost, I will say. There are a lot of people that just believe that football, even in the midst of the pandemic, even in the midst of everything we're doing right now, will be positive for, social consciousness or for the ability for us to move on. But, it looks like, let's see, Ian shared a tweet here with us. So Rob DeMello is reporting that sources have confirmed to him that the HHSAA will announce this evening that high-risk fall sports, including football, will be postponed until January. So, okay, that'd be great. I mean, I like that. I think that'd be great. I think we can save our season. I think for seniors, especially for the seniors, especially for those who don't really have much time. They want to play. They need to be able to, get in their season. It's like the kids that graduated this past year. It's really tragedy. There's a lot more tragic things in the world right now, I will say. But for athletes and for, just for the game alone, to be able to have a full season and to count is something we all want as well. So I think pushing it to January is a great option because I think it gives us a better chance of having an entire season. But at the same time, I really don't know what the protocol is going to be with testing. Okay, I'm going to deviate a little bit. and talk about the unity statement and the Pac-12. Coach Rolovich, that situation as well. First of all, I think what Coach Rolo said was probably not the right thing to say. I don't know if he is totally against the unifying statement, or if he is just, being told to downplay the unifying statement by the Pac-12 athletes. I think that it's a business as well. I mean, all of this, everything comes back to money, and that's what I hate to say. I wish it just came back to us wanting to be at the games and be fans and do everything that that's pure about the game, because a lot of us, we just love the game. We love football. We love sports. We want to just see the game because it means something to us. It means something to our families. It means something to our tradition that we have to upkeep it every year, right? And football, there's so many traditions tied into the game as well. But with that being said, we all have to be rational. We talk about this all the time. We have to, first of all, look at the pro sports. I've been saying that from the beginning. The NBA has been spotless. We're going to talk about the NBA later on in the show. We're going to talk about my attendance record, if that's still going to happen. We'll talk about that later on, since Sean posted that on Twitter. But if the NFL can't get off the ground, I mean, there's no way college football is going to get off the ground. There's just no way. So hopefully we're all, positive about NFL, because they have the resources, they have the ability to weather the storm, which it will come. I mean, MLB is already dealing with its own storms right now, dealing with an entire outbreak on a team and an outbreak on another team now, who have been playing against other players. So we don't even know how long this is going to spread. And with no containment, obviously, you're going to have a problem. So Major League Baseball without Major League Baseball presenting us a league without a bubble, already failing. I mean, it's fun if you're a Yankee fan, obviously watching Aaron Judge. If you're a Dodger fan, or any fan of the NL West teams, the Padres, it's gonna be a fun division over there to watch. I mean, I love baseball too. I love watching all of these sports. I'm happy that we have them. I don't want to not have them, but I think what baseball is doing, or what the Major League Baseball at least has done, is not provide safeguards to adequately sustain the season for its entire duration. I mean, I know I heard a rumor too saying that MLB Commissioner Manfred, who we already talked about last week as well, who is not it's my pick for probably the worst commissioner, or the worst commissioner of all the major sports, and a lot of this falls back on him. And if you're a baseball fan, it's frustrating because it could have been done. There's no need for teams to be traveling to other parks. Like, it's so unnecessary. We're watching the NBA right now, and it's the same court, or they have 3 courts that they rotate through. Like, it's awesome. We can watch all the basketball we want, and it's great. And everything is safe and contained, and the teams can be safely contained. But Major League Baseball decided that they were going to go and travel, get on planes, or whatever they're going to do. It's such a bad idea. And I hope the NFL can avoid those situations, because there will be some issues. There just definitely will be. And luckily for NBA, there haven't been issues, and we want to get through this regular season portion. I don't want to talk about NBA too much, because we're going to talk about that later. But this college football season is going to be predicated still on what is going on literally day by day numbers. So right now in Hawaii, if we're going to look at Hawaii, we look at another triple-digit day of cases. We're looking at, if we're going by those as metrics, then we shut down everything way before the numbers even got close to that. So that doesn't, project very well into the future. And then into the future, that means probably going on another lockdown if we want to be able to flatten the curve again. Or just deal with a bunch of cases. And the biggest issue is hospital capacity. So if the lieutenant governor today said that 10% of cases, if we're projecting that 10% of cases require hospitalization, so we got 10, 20 more people entering hospitals every day. Then you got to worry about what hospital you go to, what insurance you have, because, that's another story. But that will clearly have an effect on whether the football season can still go on. So we're just pushing it. This is a push in a lot of ways. It's exciting that, yes, there's some framework. And even this framework is limited because there's still scheduling models that have to be voted on, which are going to look very interesting given that some regions look different than others. One of them being Hawaii. I mean, we have to be honest about the fact that, we expect a quarantine to be in effect through September. How do we know it's not going to be in effect through October? And there's some intention that will happen. And if that does happen, then how does that September 26th game get affected? Are the Robert Morris guys going to have to fly in 14 days early and just stay in their rooms? There's a lot of question there. So there is some false optimism surrounding this announcement as well. I will be honest. I'm not going to act like this just means it's going to happen for sure. And somebody posted a question on there earlier, and something I talked about before is like, I want a clean season. I want just a season that was just clean. Like it's whatever. It's a normal season. No hang-ups. No cutoffs. Like 3 games in. I mean, that's worse. To me, that's worse. If we're going to start the season, we better end the season. That's one thing. If we're going to start football season, it better end. Major League Baseball, you're screwing it up. So if you don't end, whatever. No World Series champ this year, or whatever. I know if you're a Dodger fan, you probably don't want to hear that, or Astro fan, or a Yankee fan, Yankees, or Red Sox. Red Sox. Be an interesting race. See, I still love baseball. I still want to be able to watch it, enjoy it as a fan, but I'm also rational and logical when it comes to how we'll be able to pull it off at the collegiate level. It's going to be very difficult. But, I want to be there. So we'll talk about that later because what will that mean? Anybody have any, I want to share some comments. I know that, so Ian left a comment in the Twitter, Rob DeMello from KHON, his tweet about HHSAA, high school football moving to the spring, which is something that I've been wanting since April. We could have just made a clean season, pushed everything, and let nobody would have known what kind of colossal fail the American response would be to the virus, and therefore pushing things back. But at the same time, the spring seemed like the best option to me, even back then as well. When we're talking about a vaccine, when we're talking about being able to make last-minute plans, because this Mountain West plan is calling for various scheduling models, which will include air travel, and which will include. It's just so difficult. There's going to be there's complexities surrounding just travel aspect, not even just getting on the field, but just getting to the game. So I'm optimistic by this announcement. It seems like they have something in place. Okay, but it's hard seeing the numbers, especially in Hawaii. Just seeing it where we are right now and what what's trending. But I'm hoping a couple like Deanne says, since her son's a hurricane. That high school, just like the college, will just be like the high school. They'll get a chance to play. They'll get a chance to have their whole season play out. It would just be worse. I mean, we start a football season, and then there's a breakout on one of the teams. And we didn't even talk about the Colorado State thing. We're going to talk about the Colorado State thing right now. So Colorado State, obviously, I didn't have a personally great experience there. The field, we had a great experience winning that game the last time we played there. But a place with a lot of issues, one of the schools with a lot of issues, to be honest. Just Google that school. But making headlines again today or yesterday with their local paper saying that students are reporting that they're being pressured not to report symptoms if they might have virus, and are not being reported, or not the positive results are not being taken seriously, or it is what it is. Coaches want to get paid too. Coaches want to be on the field. Not just get paid. I mean, it is a part of life though, getting paid, the kids don't get paid. The coaches get paid. The administrators get paid. So it's different for them because they're getting money. because that's how life works, right? When you're getting money, it's different for you. Being forced to go to class, and even though you should love class, I love academia. I miss academia. I want to go back. I want to go back to grad school. I would love to. But at the same time, not everybody's going to enjoy school. And of course, we talked about Last Chance U, and I think school is a vital part, but that might not be enough to justify having kids play a high-risk sport. So just think about that, right? Because telling them to go out there and play, they're not getting paid. But the coaches can go out there and coach and get paid. The administrators can go out there and get paid. The president can follow the team and get paid. So there's a difference there. Joanna says it was so uplifting to see baseball being played again at Fenway. Yeah, that was cool. I think it's great to see baseball being played again. I think it's awesome. It's weird to see that rival, the Yankee. I know Joanna's a Red Sox fan, so she is interested in that Yankee-Red Sox rivalry. But it was kind of different, right? And, you know, that Aaron Judge home run is like, they could do all the musics and they could do all, they could put all the whatever sound effects in the stadium, but you can't replace fans. You can't replace that energy. So it is different, but it is nice to be able to watch it. And yes, it is sad, like she says, the MLB can't figure it out. Jeff says, just hoping I'll be able to travel inter-island without having to quarantine again. So yeah, that's a thing too. Inter-island, and we're going to go back to that. But so far, the numbers have been pretty good on Kauai and Maui and Big Island in comparison to Oahu, I believe. So, especially now. But we don't know what's going to happen. So even this Mountain West announcement, the games will begin the week of September 6th. Right now, we'll still play Robert Morris. So that's in September. So it's already an issue for Hawaii if the travel quarantine is pushed to October 1st. That's already the first issue, red flag. But the 8 conference games, so we already have 9. So I don't know if they're just going to pull one off or they're going to make a whole new schedule, which I don't think that you would just make a whole new schedule. It would just seem kind of a waste of time. But I guess they want to be able to, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how they came with the 8 conference games and 2 non-conference. I guess just to be able to maybe put in a bye week as well. So, but the December 5th, 12th, or 19th, they could push back the games too. So it's hard to tell what is going to be the final schedule is going to be, because none of those models have been released. But so that's today's breaking news. But that is the world of the Mountain West, where you're kind of stuck. You're under the Power 5. You're different from the Big West. We already saw that because the Mountain West is going to have its Olympic sports play. Big West is going to sit this one out until January. So that's a split right there. But, we don't know. Deanne says, how are they doing seating? I guess we have the same amount of people like last season. We could do 6 feet apart. Yeah, it is true. We could. We can easily space out at Aloha Stadium with the amount of fans that come to games. That's a very sad part. But I believe if we do have fans in a sense, the season ticket holders will have first pick. So I might encourage you to buy season tickets if you haven't yet. And I think we have pretty affordable season tickets. I think for UH, yes. If you look at some individual games, the tickets seem really expensive, but in the schools, defense as well, they're doing what they're trying to do to match what other schools are charging. Of course, you got to have an experience that's going to match up. You cannot just sell tickets to something and not provide people the excitement of being there. Even if the team loses, you can still have an exciting game. You don't have to be in a stadium. You could be in a stadium watching your team lose 63-3. Okay, that was at Michigan. Actually, okay, so it was Michigan. This is different. But, I can still enjoy the ambiance and enjoy the game. In some places, we go, even the small stands. We're watching us at Navy, and we lost that game. But it was cool. There are little things that, that were added to the atmosphere that gave us that feeling of being in a college football game. And as Hawaii sports fans, that's what we're always seeking out. That's my ultimate objective at Hawaii Sports Fans, is to deliver that fan experience that you'll never forget. I have so many memories collected in my head. I dropped the Super Bowl again because I believe, at least if we have the NFL season, I would believe by then we could have the Super Bowl and have fans of the Super Bowl. And what if that's the only game? What's the first game, guys? And you got to be there with me in Tampa, Super Bowl 55. Let's do it. Come on. It's the best. The 5 Super Bowls, everyone is just as good. Even if it's 10-3. Okay, that was just sad. Even for the Rams. And, of course, I was there cheering for the Rams, too. And That was a sad game. But it was still amazing to be at the Super Bowl. That's the point, is being at this event. It's that experience. And you can provide an experience commensurate with whatever ticket prices you charge. But you need to be able to inspire people and fire them up and make them really excited to be there to support their team, whether the team is, has a losing record or not. But we'll see. Yeah, Deanne says, it's weird seeing all the faces in the stands. We're going to talk about the virtual fans. But before we get to that, Kaveh says college football this year might be a mirage. Once we get close, it was never there. And I think that's more what Kaveh is saying is true as well. Like, I can see college football, they were just being dangled. It just feels like, a mirage. Like something that is not real, but something that you're expecting to happen. Deanne says we need a season because we need your flow to continue to Kaveh. And we do. Kaveh Key, the Bo Flow. Go follow him on Instagram. I just lost my niece recently, and he sent me a very beautiful spoken words piece of art that I appreciate. So thank you, Kaveh, for that. But yeah, let's talk about these virtual fans. We at the NBA game here at Orlando. Let me bring the volume down on that a little bit. Hear some talking. I'm talking about the virtual fans. You listen. Oh, it's really slow. So actually, you don't even want to hear any of it. It's all in slow motion. But those virtual fans, as you see on that board next to me, pretty cool. You can be one of those. If you go to the website, I've seen the websites floating around. Whereas you can get access. I see Kaipo Acosta joining us. So Kaipo, is good friends with one of the Sacramento Kings. So maybe Kaipo can be on the virtual fans at Sacramento, cheering on his OU alum there. But the virtual fans is really our only place as fans, as sports fans, as people who travel to games. This is our chance. So today I actually stumbled across the Clippers one. So I applied for the Clippers virtual fans for 2 games. And look, they get empty seats. Like, that's the thing that's crazy to me is like, how are there still empty seats? Like, oh, today, did you see Lil Wayne? So you get Big Wayne next time, hopefully. But Lil Wayne was there watching Lakers. He was spotted on the the big screen or whatever that is. I think in the house, all the players can see and hear them live. I doubt they probably don't pipe in live audio because you never know what people are gonna say. But you never know. I mean, it looks kind of fun, right? Like you see how people have their jerseys on. It's like being at the game and. There's a delay. There's a bit of a lag, obviously, if you're watching the game, even if you're watching it live at home. So I don't know. Maybe they're providing them a high-speed feed of the game, maybe. So they're watching it at maybe just 1 or 2 second delay, so they can clap. Because you kind of see. I kind of look when I see a shot. I'll look to the virtual fans and see if people are clapping or not. So you can kind of tell whether people are clapping after something happens. So. I don't know how synced up it is with the fan noise in the game, but it's pretty fun. I think it's something that has added a new dimension to the game. It's something that is the reality. Ironically, we use that word for us fans. So I find the link. I'll post for different teams have links. Actually, today I was watching a lot of the games, mostly every game. That's one of the nice parts of having. This bubble is that we can see all the games. The games are almost all staggered so that one ends and another one starts, so you're watching basketball all day. If you like basketball, I mean, it's amazing, and it's awesome. So Joanna's been watching the Celtics for sure because they're on a tear. I think they beat the Nets today as well, or that game might still be going on. But that's the cool part about the bubble is that it has enabled us to see the games that we love, see the teams that we want to see play. If you're a Warriors fan, sorry, because only 22 teams are invited to the bubble, so your team got left out. But, for the teams that are there and for the basketball fans, even if your team isn't in it, even if you're just, a general fan. I mean, this is just an amazing chance to be able to see so much basketball at one time. After being deprived for so long of any sport, this is really cool. So, nonstop beat ball, so good. Yeah, Joanna said that's true. Of course, Kaipo. He's my boy right there. It's one of the biggest UH basketball fans, Kaipo Acosta, right there. You see him at all the games with his UH basketball jersey on. We got to hang out in Spokane, Washington. It's been, 3 years now, 4 years since UH made it all the way to the NCAA tournament. One of the best trips of my life, for sure, sports trips. And that was because it was such new territory for a Hawaii fan to be able to have that first win in the NCAA tournament. And that was such a cool feeling to watch that, because, everything goes back to all of us watching it on television at home with our families or being at the games. But, when it finally happens, when UH finally, crossed the threshold and made it into the finally winning a first round game or winning an NCAA game, it's cool. It's like you feel a sense of belonging. It's like being in the Sugar Bowl, right? And seeing all of our logo everywhere in New Orleans. It felt like our team finally belonged somewhere, right? And with all the other schools. So to be able to get there again will be difficult. And we're going to have to navigate it, the road ahead. Because, yes, if there is no football, there is no revenue. If you saw today as well, the Pac-12 is apparently going to be offering loans to their schools. They even reported like it was a 3.75% borrowing rate. So that might happen. I mean, because they know that they're probably going to need money to test. They're going to need money to do a lot to be able to pull off the season. But that's because all the TV money behind it. So they're lusting over that right now. All that TV money. So kids are saying, and Pac-12 kids in the Pac-12 are saying, is it worth it? Is it worth it for us to be out there? And we don't know. We don't know if they're going to have to be forced to question themselves. We already know what's happening around the world. Outside of the U.S., teams are playing. Some countries, fans are back in the stands already. So that's not us. Might not be us for a long time. So virtual fans might be the way that we do end up going. And it would be kind of cool. I think it's smart to use the technology. I think it makes a lot of sense if you want to have that atmosphere. It definitely provides atmosphere, just like the stimuli coming from the sidelines visually and the sound. It's probably cool for the players as well. It gives them something to play off of. But yeah, nonstop basketball, so good. So. Start at the top of the NBA. The NBA is going well. The Lakers are clinched the first seed in the Western Conference. If you think the Lakers are gonna win the finals, comment down. Or who do you think is gonna win the finals? Comment. I want to know who people. If you're watching the NBA, if you're not watching the NBA, if you just like one team's uniform is the best. I don't know if the Grizzlies are gonna win the finals, but they do have pretty sweet uniforms. I do love the throwbacks. I love the messages on the players' jerseys. I love that it says Black Lives Matter on the court. I think, NBA has done such a good job of embracing progress and embracing societal tide and following it where it's going. There's too many people still fighting against the tide. It's already going. If you're still hoping to go back to whatever period of time when the NBA was just totally sanitized and not even have live games on, and that was only a few decades ago, then you can go back to that in some other form, because the NBA is not going to go back to that. The NBA is pushing forward, and the NBA is going to be a leader, and players are using their platforms for good and to push forward their messages and to be able to effectively use this chance that they have all these eyes on them. Right, with people indoors, with people not working. A lot of people are watching games. A lot of people are more engaged in the sport and paying more attention to the teams. So this is a chance for a lot of these teams to build their brand. I mean, I can still see a lot of apparel being sold at home. I can still see a lot of money being spent on these teams, even if people can't be in the stadium. That's how much people love pro sports. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it at the college level. I haven't really seen it at UH. I would love to see them find a way to do like an apparel grab for people and make money that way. I think that would be. Look, I wear most of my stuff that I wear. I bought from a bookstore or from H Zone or for something through the years, and it's a good way of effective way of bringing revenue onto the campus as well. So we'll see if that might not be enough. I'm not saying that'll be enough if we don't have football, because not having revenue in the stands will be difficult as well. So we'll see. Maybe we'll be able to go to the games. Maybe we'll be one of the few in Hawaii to be able to go to the games. But then that would be hard because I wouldn't be able to travel back and forth if I have to quarantine. So I have to be without the quarantine. So we'll see. So that is going to be the natural segue, I guess, into Sean's tweet. So here he put serious question, Sean Hyman, we must see on the show. Is Wayne Kai's University of Hawaii, Wayne Kai being my Twitter handle, is Wayne Kai's University of Hawaii consecutive games attended streak in jeopardy due to COVID-19? Emoji. Discuss. I don't know if people are discussing because it might not be that important, but it's kind of important to me because I didn't expect it, obviously. So people want to know about that consecutive game streak. On October 31st, 2015, I attended a game at the stadium. So I've been attending. I haven't missed a UH home game since 2000. The last game of 2006. I missed the game before because I was in college. I went to college in New York. So when I wasn't living in Hawaii, I also went on a mission. I wasn't able to go to games. So those are the only times, basically, that I missed games. Home games. But since 2006 and into 2007, I have my own season tickets for the first time. And obviously, that was a great season. And I haven't missed a home game since then. And I'm hoping never to have to do that ever again, is to miss another home game. So will this put my consecutive game streak, because not only have I missed no home games since 2007, but on October 31st, back to then, on 2015, which was a home game against Air Force, which was Norm Chow's actually last game. Coach Norm Chow was a brutal, bludgeoning assault by Air Force on us, poor Rainbow Warriors. So very few people left in the stands. There was probably maybe a couple thousand by the end of the game. I'm not even kidding, like 3,000-4,000 maybe. And I don't know. For some reason, since that game, I have never missed a game. Road game either. Home or road. So I think that year we played UNLV on the road. So that was 2015. I was there for that game. And then Coach Rolovich was hired in 2016. Our first game of 2016 was in Australia. So I went to Australia. And then the next year we played in Michigan. So I went to Michigan. Then we played at home. Then I came back home. So it's fun. It's something I look forward to. And it's something that yes. Deanne, you should be granted a COVID exception if you miss a game. I love that, Deanne. So I'm going to have to get it notarized or something, my exception given to me by somebody, hopefully. I can get around it. But no, it would be. Obviously, I'd love to be at the game still. We do have the games, and I'll find a way to get on the field. Because I want to be there. It is who I am. Everything, is with UH football is a part of me in so many ways, not just something I do in the fall, right? Something I talk about all year long, something I've been thinking about my whole life. Right, since I've been going to the games as a little kid, since I was, 11, making my own shirts with my friend Brad and printing all kind of random stuff and making signs, and then 2007 holding a sign in the front row, which offended people, but then everybody was happy about it later on. You can go back and check on that one as well. All these cryptic messages, but UH football is a part of my life. It's been a part of my life for so long, and it would be difficult. I think it would be difficult for a lot of people like me in my position, local people who have been born and raised on it, and people that have just used it to really, it's like a time marker. It marks events in our lives. It marks times, right? We go back and we're like, oh yeah, what year was that? 2014, or what happened in UH football, or you can go back to football and you'll know who the coach was, and who the what the record was that year, or you kind of have a general idea, and that's kind of what sports brings to you, especially in the fall with football. Um, you know, it's important because so many passionate fans and so many even just casual fans look forward to it. Even people that aren't football fans probably look forward to football season in some way. Maybe they can avoid their football watching friends or something, or it's just one of those things that football is, that everybody has a relationship in some way too, right? Like, why do so many people watch the Super Bowl? Even if it's for the halftime show, even if it's for the commercials, it's still about the football game first. Kaipo says, Spokane, best trip ever. Love your passion. Thank you, Kaipo. Yeah, Kaipo is one of those guys too. I mean, with basketball season, we're hoping, we'll be able to get into the stands. We'll be able to see some games. Well, we don't know. Deanne says it's hard to find nice UH gear without having to travel to Manoa Bookstore, and I agree with that as well. Apparently, you can order online. You can, go and pick it up, I believe, as well, or get it shipped. So, but yeah, if you're like Deanne in Kapolei, Manoa's not like down the street, so maybe a store at UH West Oahu, which I'm sure they have a bookstore. So maybe they should sell stuff over there. We'll see. I think that having. Oh, thanks, Uncle Tommy said I rock. I think when we had the H Zone at to me, that's where I would shop all the time, was H Zone at Ward, which doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, I agree with Deanne. It's hard to get the gear, but that's where we should be, right? Kaipo says, give us the gear. I think that's a huge and nice gear. I don't know what I know they released another Under Armour shirt recently, which I do. I like the Under Armour shirts, but it's got to be something that is a design that is suitable for Hawaii, for our program, and for what we're about. And I think like even some of the retro stuff, like looking at old pictures of that student athletes have played at UH or shared, of like their practice uniforms or the game uniforms and all of their like floral design and stuff, like that's so cool. They gotta bring that back. Like that would be cool. So obviously we're still gonna talk about hopefully having at least one throwback game this year. Coach Graham, Auntie Penny, who I think was watching earlier as well. Hopefully that's something that we want to have, is that throwback game, because it brings back a lot of those memories as well, and hopefully it brings back a lot of those fans. So it's all about building up the fan base again, collecting revenue for the program, and being able to self-sustain for years to come. And this year throws a huge wrench into it for the sustainability of the program. And that's something that is scary to think about, because, you have to be able to weather the storm, and it's going to be a difficult storm to weather. So I understand why the Mountain West, put forward this plan, or at least the skeleton of a plan, because there's still like the schedule contingencies haven't been discussed on which one. So obviously they're still putting in. This is kind of like a way to punt and keep the discussion going. So I get that as well, but I appreciate that they did share something relatively concrete. Yeah, Uncle Tommy, Thomas I.E. says, I like the V-ball shirt that had the Hawaiian flag. I do too. That was such a cool shirt. That's a cool jersey. That's what I'm talking about. That's a part of us. That's something that people think about. And when you think about that jersey in particular, you think about our team and our squad that, went all the way to the national championship game. So I think that's a place that UH could definitely still capitalize on, is getting good gear, being able to, have revenue come in during the year, but also build the program, because I think the design is cool. I like our H logo. I like our throwback, our retro logo. Obviously, I think the rainbow is something that is in, and is something that whatever connotations that people are afraid of it having to deal with. I don't think that's an issue anymore. So it's been clear that a lot of the recruits, they like the rainbow. They like using it in their announcements about where when they're coming into UH. So I think this is a good chance to be able to have, the logo make a good comeback, the retro stuff, and sell gear online, and maybe have people come by, do something that, I know that they've been doing deals, so I saw the deals, but it's more, I guess, in the collection. It's more of in the what they have in stock. So I think it's important to have like that Bruno Mars baseball jersey. It's not even Bruno Mars's baseball jersey. It's the Hawaii baseball jersey, but it's the one that he wore in his concert. So that's an example. I always bring that one up because so many people wanted to buy it. It was not available. That would have been so huge for the program. But you live and learn. So next time. So back to my attendance streak. Yeah, probably. I would say, who would say? I mean, if I missed the first game because no fans are allowed, is that a miss? I mean, if I couldn't get into the game, I mean, believe me, I'm still gonna try and get into the game, any game for sure. I guess now I'm media, so I guess I've been media, but or could be media, but now I have a media outlet. Is this a media outlet? You guys are watching me talk, so I can be going as media and get credentialed maybe. That is actually a serious possibility now that I think about it. But I don't know. It would be hard to miss a game. I would be honest. Like I couldn't be outside. I couldn't just sit outside and know that there's a game going on in the stadium. Like that would be like FOMO overload, fear of missing out. But like on overload. Like I literally had a nightmare of like standing outside Aloha Stadium with a game going on inside and I'm not in there in the game. That's like a nightmare, like a cold sweat wake up kind. So I'd be really heartbroken if I couldn't get into a game. But I'm sure all of you will sign a petition to let me into the game, right? I mean, I need to be there. 60 straight games. So yes, so since this 2015, 60 games have come and gone in a row. The last one being one of my favorites, the BYU victory in the Hawaii Bowl. Wow, that was awesome. Great game. So Kaveh says, Wayne, it would be a spiritual attendance. I agree. We're all there. We're all always there in spirit. We're with the team there in spirit. It would just be hard knowing that I physically am not there. Like I might physically vomit with the knowledge that I'm not in the stadium and there's a game going on. That would just be horrible for me. So I don't know if I could do that. I mean, but we'll see. We'll see if we have sports. We'll see if we have a game. We'll see. I keep saying we'll see. It's really aggravating because now it's August. I've been doing this since April. 4 months later, I think it's been exactly 4 months that I've been doing this show, and we've been waiting for answers. And I think it's still punting. I mean, even August 6th, we're still punting. Yeah. Dan says I can be Graham's media person. Yeah. Follow him everywhere. I don't know. He might not like that. He might not be following him everywhere. But I would love to be on the sideline, of course, if there are games. I'll try. Chance some. But, you know, having a season is something that's still a bit of a challenge. So if the season happens, we're still going by whether the season happens or not. But I'm pretty excited about what has been coming out, at least, of the NCAA, or at least excited. When I use the word excited, I mean, like, at least I feel like they know that at any time something could change, so they're making allowances for things happening. But the biggest thing that could happen, obviously, like an outbreak, something akin to what the Miami Marlins are dealing with right now. I just don't see a college surviving that. I mean, you could just quarantine the players, I guess, but they've already been exposed to other people, and it would be rough. So I don't know what that looks like. I think that's what's more frightening to me is I don't know what that looks like. If somebody, first of all, somebody gets really sick and is in the hospital, which is possible, or kids that can get sick, really sick. And that's like, well, some people say, oh, it's only like probably one maybe, or two or three or whatever. But, I mean, could be someone that you know. It could be like one of your players. Could be a coach. Excuse me. So I honestly don't know what I don't know how the optically, for what it looks like from the outside, I don't know if football, if that's something, especially the college game, would want to have to deal with. Given that football seems very non-essential to people who are not football fans. And it's hard to blame them for that, even though I think sports plays a very significant role in society. And I think with the NBA, and it's the way the NBA is doing it, doing it right, having a bubble, letting the players' voices be heard, having the games play on, keeping it competitive, doing everything really that a fan would want to see, then it can work. But in the absence of a bubble, I don't know how it can work. Major League Baseball is already showing that to us. So the NFL clearly is going to have some issues. And then we're going to talk about college. High school's already in Hawaii. Looks like moving to the spring. California is moving to the spring. I think we do that. I think that makes the most sense for us. I hope that we can get through this. I hope that I can still keep going to games. I hope that I can, keep my streak alive, obviously. And I want everybody. I want it just to be open. I want everything to be normal. Just like everybody else. Just want everything to go back to normal. But it's never probably going to ever go back to normal. I keep saying probably, but that's because I am holding out that slight bit of hope that things could be back to normal again. But probably never again will ever go back to normal. And that could change traveling. That could change touring. That could change, how we sit at games and the way that we interact with players. Can we touch them? Can we high five? That all changes the fan experience, and that's something that scares me in a little bit. But at the same time, we're going to evolve. We're going to change how we interact with players. We're going to use technology more. Already, players are way more accessible. I mean, technologically, you might not be able to, like in the early 90s in the Pro Bowl, like the heyday of me getting my autographs in the 90s, especially during the Pro Bowl, players were way more accessible. You could see them walking around. After the game, I wait in north end zone, and I just wait there. And so many of my memories of being a football fan are from that experience of getting autographs in the end zone after the Pro Bowl. And, that interaction has gone slowly. And it's been, hard because players used to love that, too. Players and the fans would come together, and that was a part of the game. But now players, are about that Instagram life. And, I guess you can go and Instagram them or comment on their story and just hope that they read your message or whatever. So I guess that's the way to communicate with them now. But, things change. Sports change. Fans evolve. And the way that we are evolving as fans might be just that virtual fan. Like, we'll go back to the NBA game. So if you want to try it out, let me know, too, if you do it, okay? I want to try it, too. Virtual fans, try and do like for Clippers or something, or Lakers. I never found the Lakers link though yet, but it'd be cool. I mean, as a fan, you live for that experience of flying. You live for that experience of if you're traveling to a away game. But even if you're going to a game at the stadium, getting into the stadium and smelling the tailgate or smelling the food coming from the the concession. Those are all like these senses, these stimuli that we are not going to be able to enjoy this fall for a lot of us as fans. So hopefully this show helps as well with giving people a chance to have an outlet or have some content to consider, given that we don't know where we are right now. It looks like obviously the Mountain West has a plan, hopefully a 10-game schedule, trying to be as positive as I can about it. And I want to be positive. I want to be at the game myself. I want to be there. If we have the game, I'm going to be there. Okay, I promise I'm going to be in the game. But the greater question is, are we going to be able to pull this off the whole season? And that is something that, we keep going back and forth with, or I keep going back and forth with as, I just don't know. So, if you had a chance this last week to go check out our Last Chance U game. Our Last Chance U show. I don't know if any of you had a chance to go and watch on Netflix yet, but if you did, comment below. Looks like practice is supposed to start on Friday now, so UH spring training was pushed from Monday originally. Then player tested positive, so it got pushed to Tuesday, and then yesterday it was pushed, or Monday I think it was. Tuesday it was pushed further till Friday. So Not sure if it's open to the public. I don't think it is, but that'd be kind of a cool thing. Maybe I'll see some of you out there if it's open to the public. I don't know if I can go, but then again, if I should apply for media credentials, so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I just like you guys. I want to be excited and positive for the season. I want to be able to see every game. I want to be able to interact with the players and other fans. And I want to be able to have things normal again. So I'm just like the rest of you, but at the same time, I'm very sensitive as well to just how difficult it is to pull off a season without a bubble, without the parameters in place, safeguards that are going to keep the people on the field, let alone the people in the stands, but the people on the field safe. Football, I know Nike was trying to come out with a face mask the players could wear. There are some different technological advancements trying to be made, obviously, so that we're able to at least have the games go off as safe as possible, with mitigating the risk as much as possible, because it's hard to eliminate the risk. What the NBA is doing is a pretty good job, because they've been running a tight ship and they haven't had any positives, and that's really difficult. It's tough for any league to be able to do that, and NBA needed to have all these safeguards in place, needed to be in the bubble in Orlando to make this work. So anytime we're talking about traveling somewhere else, it's hard to see it, and it's hard to see the numbers in August. It's hard to see it just supposedly be better September 26th. I don't know how much better today it'll be. On September 26th, it'll be from today. Especially if there are people in Hawaii, at least, health officials saying that, Hawaii, we are at risk of running to capacity in our hospitals, which would be colossally terrible for all of us who live in Hawaii, who, I don't know, maybe your appendix is about to burst and you need to get it taken out like I did 10 days ago, 12 days ago. But, that's something that we should all consider, because we all want to have access to ICUs or ventilators or something, especially when we don't know what could happen to us too. Or we could get the virus and it could be bad for us as well. I know there are people, some Facebook friends that I've seen document their journey surviving COVID. I know those who haven't documented their journey but have personally told me about their journey through COVID, and it's dangerous. It's serious. It's something that's scary. It scares me, because I know that I know what the possibilities are. Does it mean that I stop everything that I've done? No, I have to mitigate the risk how I can for myself, but we should also be mindful of the people around us, because that's what's important, is keeping the community safe, right? People always talk up herd immunity, which is really, really tough to get your herd immunity, but we all have to act as a herd. We all have to act as one body of people who are looking out for each other, and that's a difficult thing for a lot of people to do, because they haven't been asked to do that their whole life. It's been all about yourself your whole life until this moment when, as a community, we're all suffering and we're all trying to just navigate the storm. And football has been one of those just standard bearers for us for years and years, our whole lives, for most of us who've been football fans, our whole lives, as something that we just did in the fall, as something that we look forward to doing together, and it's difficult. Any question? People, today has been a crazy day in that, we expected training camp to happen. It's still going to happen on Friday, so we're excited about that. We have word from the Mountain West, so it looks like the schedule is going to change a little bit. But at the same time, we're hearing discussions in Hawaii, at least from the governor, the lieutenant governor, about a possible further lockdown. So just got to take the good news with the bad news sometimes. Uncle Tommy says, back to gear, anything on retro mini football helmets. Yes, mini football helmets are cool too. A lot of people like those. Even the big football helmets, even the regular size kind. Anything to support the team. I think a lot of fans are looking for ways that they can be supported. And yes, donating money. You can always be supportive by giving them money if that's what you want to do to give to the program. And I think that's obviously a very positive and necessary way to sustain a program is to have money donors. But you can do a lot. You can do a lot to be a better fan, but also to spread the word and help to build up the team and the fan base. I know Twitter is one of those places for sure that fan bases can compete in polls and it's cool. Like you'll see all the Hawaii people. It's not hard to find all of them. Hawaii. I don't know what we gotta have. I guess the Hawaii football hashtag or the Go Bulls hashtag I try and use. But shout out to everybody there on Twitter and all the people who are always have UH football in their minds and are always discussing the latest when it comes to gossip or whatever. So I don't know. I don't get that much gossip. Or the gossip's about me. I don't know. So, with that being said, let's go back to that schedule real quick because as I close off the show, as we reach 6 o'clock, started with this Mountain West announcement that games will begin September 26th. So Robert Morris currently the opponent on the UH schedule, and looks like that will still remain intact. That's a non-conference game. The conference schedule is probably going to have to get tossed around a little bit. I'm sure they're going to try and stick to the current schedule. It'd just be hard to change things around, but various scheduling models, as it says on this banner, are being considered right now. So that's always going to be taken into consideration what's going on in the world, what the virus looks like, and that is changing every day. So that's the most difficult and frustrating part of all of this is that we don't have any control. Goes back to what the virus is doing, what the numbers say, and we can't control any of that. So, the Mountain West can't even control their schedule yet. They're still just saying we want to begin on September 26th, so they still don't have the schedule in place. So it's all going to be last minute, and hopefully by Sunday, by the next show on Sunday, we'll have further information. I'll be able to, give you some super great news about the season and everything that's happening. But hopefully we'll be able to talk about practice a little bit and maybe I can even get some video down there. We'll see. But that's all I had for today. I think it's August already. It's August. Oh my gosh. In another parallel world, we still are playing Arizona at Tucson on August 29th. So that's crazy. I mean, we would have been basically having our first game, getting ready to be there, and that's not happening. So it's been a long one. I mean, we've been talking about this since April when I started the show, that football season could be at risk, but so long from now, no worries, should be fine. And you get into April, you get into May, and you're like, uh-oh. And you get into June, uh-oh. And you get into July, okay, they're back on campus. Uh-oh, people are testing. Then you get into August, and we're still at the same place. And that's kind of frustrating. So I'm hoping that, we'll have more concrete news that'll come out. But clearly the conference is punting on this one a little bit and just holding out for more info. So we'll see what we can do. I know the governor in Hawaii, and they're not going to care about what the Mountain West does one way or the other in terms of whether they have to keep the quarantine in place. So, that could definitely affect what the season looks like. But so much to consider, so many places to go. Kaipo says, thanks for the aloha, Wayne. Virtual chest bump. Great show. Stay positive. Your streak is still alive. I'll stay positive. Wife says aloha. Aloha to her as well. I love her. Just great people. And I just miss all the fans as well. I miss seeing a lot of you in the stands and seeing you at the stadium or, out and about. I think that's something that we got cut off. March, all the UH fans got cut off, and we didn't get a chance to finish out a lot of seasons in baseball and softball, and finish out even volleyball, or even basketball really. So tough one, but hoping that this year will be better. But I'm thankful that you all have tuned in for another show. I'm gonna bring the music up as I say aloha